The Simpsons have been living in borderline poverty for a very long time now. It's a wonder how Homer and Marge managed to take care of 3 kids on their feeble finances. But this is precisely why starting a new business might be a smart decision for the family. Maybe what Homer and Marge really need is a public business. Surely the chaotic family will curb their dysfunctional traits and turn their new business into a success.
We took on corporate America and broke even.
Hear, hear!
Instead of showing some crazy antics. This time, the couch gag shows a glimpse of the family living a peaceful life. Everything is perfect and picturesque. However, the minute Homer tries to drink tea on the couch, he ruins everything by flipping over the tea with his fat stomach. Ned Flanders and his pathetic kids are once again doing something weird in a non-threatening way. And this time, Ned helps his kids unplug every appliance in the house. However, the man discovers that his house is using too much power. And a simple investigation reveals that, just like any good neighbour, Homer is leeching from the Flanders and using their electricity for completely absurd things. Ned has no choice but to put an end to this thievery, and he confronts Homer about the extra electricity being sucked away from his house. Since Homer has been caught red-handed, he can't lie his way out of this one. And he shows Ned another appliance that is running on the stolen electricity. Apparently, Homer has been storing a lot of frozen meat in case the world comes to an end. And even the refrigerator belongs to Ned himself. Homer is left with all of his meat rotting on the pavement. But Marge steps in and decides to make sandwiches out of the pile of meat before it actually goes bad. This is a difficult moment for Homer. His entire life will be a complete waste if Marge cannot save the meat. Homer spends the next couple of hours frantically waiting around as Marge creates her sandwiches. Homer is probably more worried for the meat compared to the birth of his own children. The wait is agonizingly long, but the following day, Marge excitedly tells the family how she prepared all of the meat and turned them into different types of sandwiches. Homer and the kids are truly impressed by Marge's talent for making food. After decades of cooking for her moody family, Marge must be a Michelin chef by now. Later on, while tucking Lisa into bed, Marge learns that Lisa wants to take a dozen sandwiches to school. Even Bart wants to pack an entire suitcase full of sandwiches and bring them to school. This odd behavior worries Marge. But she learns that Lisa and Bart have started trading the sandwiches at school, and they seem to be quite popular with the kids. The following day, when Marge visits the school, almost every child is eating her delicious sandwiches, and where there is opportunity, there is some corporate shill trying to trap their next victim. Marge meets an overly eager woman called Trudy Zengler. She is the vice president of a company called Mother Hubbard's Sandwich Cupboards, and Marge is her new target. Trudy wants Marge to start a new business with the company. The offer seems sudden, but when Marge thinks about the family's finances, she can't help but take on this opportunity. Even Trudy believes that Marge could really use the help.
If that flashback you just described is true, you can't afford not to open this franchise. I'm in.
When Marge shares the news with the rest of the family, everyone seems to be pretty supportive, and soon, Marge and Trudy are standing inside the new Mother Hubbard sandwich shop which Marge will be running. But before the place even officially opens, Krusty the Clown barges in and accuses Marge of being the sole competition to his dying burger joint. Krusty then orders his monkey to mess up Marge's store. But after being shown a little kindness, the monkey stops his violence altogether.
She did the one thing I never could. Feed him.
Trudy is impressed by the way Marge handled the situation. She believes that with a little more force, Marge can truly become the respected but feared owner of a sandwich shop. Now that the shop is ready to go, Marge needs to hire a few helping hands. But in a city like Springfield, trying to find sane workers is a difficult task. Each interview is eccentric and bizarre, and Marge is quickly losing hope. Even the nerdy science professor is too much a loser to be a good fit for a job way below his qualifications.
Ivy, and now I'm running to the unemployment office. Blurvik.
The following night, Marge is just too nervous to sleep. In fact, the woman is so troubled she is willing to wake up Homer and vent to him. Homer is, of course, of no help. Somehow, he turns Marge's vent session into his own therapy session. But the business is a big deal, and Marge won't let Homer off so easily. She forces the man to wake up and listen to her rant about the pressure of owning a cute sandwich shop. Later on, the hired help is already promoting the business. One of the workers, a man called Gil, is a little desperate, and he promotes several jobs at the same time, but his heart is in the right place. Meanwhile, back at the shop, things are in full swing. Homer visits Marge and she is already a nervous wreck. Apparently, There were no customers between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Homer tries to comfort Marge. He has been promoting the shop as well, but he has been promising his friends services that don't really exist, which doesn't make Marge feel any better. As the time goes on, Marge is now completely locked in and managing the entire business. However, she realizes that buying Mother Hubbard's merchandise for the store is a lot more expensive than actually running the store. What sort of a greedy corporation will completely suck a small business dry and force it to buy from the corporation that is supposed to be helping them? Who has ever seen such evil in the real world?
What kind of corporation does that?
Marge also learns that one of her employees is stealing from the cashier, and Marge has no choice but to fire the girl. With the lunch rush coming in, Marge could really use some help, and thankfully, Homer steps up to help out his wife. Making sandwiches is Homer's true calling anyways. When Marge realizes how well Homer is working, she gets the kids to help out as well. Lisa believes this is a waste of her skills, but Bart is only embracing his true destiny.
Well, if I'll be doing this when I'm 40, might as well start now.
The sandwich is now entirely run by the Simpsons. It's like a well-oiled machine and business is booming. This is a dream come true for Marge. And as time goes on, the shop even makes a profit. In the long run, the sandwich business can really help the Simpsons set their finances right. However, in the middle of this wondrous dream is a soul-sucking corporate demon, and Marge is horrified to learn that Mother Hubbard is opening another franchise right in front of her own store.
What the hell is that?
This new competition is not what Marge expected when she decided to work with Trudy. However, the corporate world functions differently, and not only is the market already oversaturated, but the new franchise is run by a family as well, which means that the identity of Marge's own business has been taken away as well. It doesn't take long for the sandwich shop to come to a complete halt. There are no customers to be seen, and the entire family is left in an agonizing lull. To make matters worse, Mr. Burns appears at the store as well. He wants to know why Homer is wasting away at a sandwich shop and not doing work at his real job. Thankfully, Mr. Burns can't help but be himself, and he falls in love with a standee, which distracts him from firing Homer.
Simpson, introduce me to this almond-eyed beauty and all is forgiven.
When your only customer is a deranged billionaire who doesn't even buy anything, you know the business is doing bad. Later on, Marge realizes that she has been working her family to the bone, and for the first time in her life, Marge goes to Moe's Tavern and drinks her sorrows away. Everyone loves the new franchise, even though both of the shops are the same. People really love it when a business has the word Express attached to it, and Marge cannot compete with that sort of a tactic. But Moe knows a way through which Marge can get out of her contract, and he is willing to share this secret. The following day, Marge meets Trudy and complains about the new franchise. Trudy is about as soulless as one would expect. This is why Marge has a plan. Homer pretends to be a distinguished gentleman who is eager to buy a sandwich, but he gets badly injured by the staff of the sandwich shop. Of course, the entire thing is a ruse, but Trudy does not know that. Homer then threatens to sue the company for harming him in such a brutal way. If there is one thing a corporate shill avoids like the plague, it's the threat of a lawsuit. And Trudy agrees to give back Marge the money she invested into the business. And finally, the sandwich shop is no longer Marge's responsibility. The weight has been lifted, and the family realize they rather live in abject poverty than deal with the corporate world. But speaking of responsibility, being the mayor of Springfield definitely requires a lot of it, which Homer doesn't have. If you want to see what happens, check this video next, but not before leaving your like and a subscription.